Happy Sunday morning, everybody. I hope you've had a fantastic week. It is Sunday, November the 16th, 2025. Alex and I are here in the sanctuary at First Methodist Church, and I do thank Alex so much for stepping up and being my camera operator now. It is a blessing to have him along with me, not only as my son, but my sidekick. All right, I do want to say good morning, Joyce Steffler. And Tim Dawson, you have been following me, I guess it's just about the beginning of these programs, so thank you so much. Also, Teresa Moore down in Savannah, Georgia. She goes to church with my oldest daughter and my granddaughter. And also Jennifer Thomas, a new one that I'm getting to know here in Marion. She is a new caregiver at the house, helping us take care of my father-in-law, and she's a real blessing to us. And also, I have to say this one. Happy 60th wedding anniversary this week to my parents. And I know that Mom and Dad are tuning in about now. And we had a wonderful day together yesterday. Almost all the family got together for lunch. And then we had a nice time of cake and fellowship. So happy 60th wedding anniversary, Mom and Dad. I love y'all so much. All right, last thing I've got before I start to play, just remember, Sunday night, November the 30th, I will be in Granite Falls, North Carolina at Anchor Church of God, and doing a Thanksgiving piano concert with them. Probably throw in a little bit of Christmas also, because it is the first day of Advent that day. And so if you're in the area, I'd be glad to have you come out. It is definitely open to the public. Again, that's Sunday, November the 30th, 6 p.m. at Anchor Church of God in Granite Falls. All right, so let's go ahead and get started today. And we're continuing on with songs about Thanksgiving. And one that I'm sure many of us probably think in our minds as we're having our cup of coffee this morning, Revive Us Again. Getting revived now. Next, let's do a thousand Thanksgivings. Thank you, Marilyn June, for sharing that one with me. Next up, What Thanksgiving is not complete without this hymn, Now Thank We All Our God. Next up, haven't played this arrangement in a while, so I hope I still get it all right. And it's And Can It Be? Now, do make sure you hang on to the end of the program, because towards the end, we will start picking up the pace quite a bit today. All right, next up, the request was His Eyes on the Sparrow, but I hadn't played my special arrangement of that one in a while, so I wanted to put this one in. It's How Great Thou Art with His Eyes on the Sparrow. his eye is on the sparrow, but his eye is also on you. It doesn't matter what you're going through. He knows and he cares. So many of you are not able to go to church anymore due to health reasons, ages, but God knows, and he's there with you. He's there to comfort you and to strengthen you. So just call on his name because he's watching. All right, next up, let's do Lead Me On. Next up, this one goes right along with today's weather. There is a 40% chance of showers here in western North Carolina. So there shall be showers of blessings. Next, a good old Southern gospel quartet song, and it's simply called The Lighthouse. Next up, a hymn that I have played many times on this program, and it is a personal favorite of mine. But so many times when we do the hymns like in church and we do them pretty much as written, we fly right through the meanings of them. And this particular one can be done that way. So I am going to play it traditional church style, but then I'm going to go back and do it and add meaning to it and feeling. So I hope you enjoy and worship along with Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine. Sometimes it means a whole lot more just to take your time. Let the words resonate in your heart and in your mind. Next up, another Southern Gospel song, God Will Make This Trial a Blessing. We don't always understand why we go through the trials in this life, but like the old song says, we'll understand it better by and by. Next up, one that I love to use in church services just to settle things down and welcome the presence of God into the house, into the sanctuary, holy ground. Time's getting away from me today, so I'm going to do two more songs, and this next one was requested from a YouTube viewer, and we are definitely going to pick up the pace now. Jesus, hold my hand. Jesus, hold my hand. So I want to end today's program with an assuring thought, and it's another good Southern gospel song that I used to play for the Evangeliers Quartet when I played for them back in the 80s and early 90s. And it is simply called Boundless Love. And indeed, God's love is boundless. It reaches to the farthest heights, the highest heights, the deepest depths, and it reaches to my heart. Boundless love. today's program has been a blessing to you and an encouragement. Hopefully by now you are revived, your coffee is soaking in and getting into your bloodstream, plus the songs. Most of all, the Spirit of God is moving within you, and you are ready now to go and enter into His courts with praise, enter His gates with thanksgiving. So, if it is Sunday morning when you're viewing this, be sure and get out and go to church now. Don't just sit there at home and think, well, I've had enough, I'm good. You need to be in God's house. I'll see you next Sunday, Lord's willing. Bye.